Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
I know, you've been waiting for this. Huh? There you go. These two have been sort of chewing on each other in sort of a mostly benign way. But having some food aggression issues. Would you like this? Huh? Yep. They're generally pretty gentle. See what I mean? I really like these guys. This is one very nice species to keep if you like desert snakes that are easy keepers. The Fields vipers and the whole Pseudocerastes group have been known to feed on carrion in the wild. They're not going to pass up something dead even if it's a bit aged. So they happily take generally whatever you feed them, as we can see here. And if you look at that pile of poop right there, it's got a nice fang embedded in it. Fangs from this species aren't terribly long, but seem to be effective. I would imagine most of their prey are lizards in the wild, birds.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's normal for her. It's like, oh, I gotta stretch out to get it down my throat. It's not like she's lunging at you like, get back, stay away from my mouse. It's just, I need to stretch out a little bit because I've got this kink in my gut. Well, that was very good. Not much shake and bake involved there. You know, we haven't seen any sort of shipment in this year from Egypt at all. Zero, none. You know, there's a couple reasons for this. American reptile enthusiasts that import are very notorious for having their exporter ship them in order and not paying for it once it gets here. And there's nothing that the exporter can really do, so they stop exporting to the United States. It's as simple as that, because in many cases, you know, they can't pay their collectors and the collectors get upset, and in some countries, you know, it probably means that someone gets killed because they owe them a lot of money. So a few unscrupulous people, I know who they are, this is just wrong. It's one thing if, you know, you get dead, diseased, dying animals to call them out and to not pay for the sick animals, but it's another thing to get a very good shipment from these people and not pay.
Ruining the hobby one a-hole at a time.
Yep, that's what happens. Certainly a shipment from Egypt would be well received because there's generally lots of goodies in there that people would be eager to snap up. In the venomous, there could be Walternesia, the desert black cobra, certainly Egyptian saw scales, Arabian or painted saw scales, Fields vipers, sand vipers, cerastes, desert horn vipers, all those just on the venomous side are usually in those shipments, as well as, you know, lots of lizards for the lizard people. You need to take care now because she's coming around. Hi, are you ready for another? Europlatus comes in with a great deal of frequency, and for those that are interested, certainly lots of invertebrates like Deathstalker scorpions, which are nearly impossible to kill, generally speaking. Hard dock. Pseudocerastes cam. Well, you sucked down 2 to her 1. Alright, well, the battery is about to expire, so we'll stop here and get another battery. Alright, we're gonna give this a try. Her cage needs to be clean, or her bin. This is a very large white-tailed lancehead, Bothrops leucurus. I had her in a bigger cage upstairs, but she didn't really do very well because it wasn't moist enough, and she wouldn't shed properly on a regular basis. That said, you know, having her in the bin and having to take her out periodically to clean her is a hazard. It stresses her out, it stresses us out, and is clearly a very dangerous activity. So we're gonna try to work her into this can here, and this doesn't always normally go well, but we're gonna give it a shot. I know you don't like being touched. I'm very sorry. Come on. She has one eye. There you go. Well, just when you expect the worst, nothing happens. They're like landmines. You can disturb them once or twice and they may not go off. You disturb them a few seconds later and they're like all over the friggin' place trying to escape. So As usual, leave the hook on the bin because it signifies that there's something in there that you should be aware of, and not just open the lid haphazardly. So now I'm going to clean the bin and put some fresh substrate in there. As you can see, she has her hut, piece of furniture which I took from upstairs. She fits in there rather tightly, but she seems to like it. It takes up some space, but it is what it is. It went in real easy. That doesn't mean that she'll come out in the same mood. These lids, and I'll be careful not to put my fingers on those holes. These lids normally come with a little rubber washer which seals them, but at the same time it allows it to unscrew relatively easy. Hi there, big girl. Come on. Come on. I know, I hear that tail. I hear that tail. Isn't she a magnificent animal? She has some sort of eye affliction, because I think she got bit by a cage mate. But she's just a superb animal. Certainly nothing you would want to get bit by. There you are. Good girl. Well, I guess I should have went and bought a lottery ticket, because that behavior is about as rare as hitting the lottery. I'm not complaining. Certainly Bothrops are nothing to be messed with. Certainly, you know, handling the taipan upstairs can be less stressful than working with the big Bothrops for me. Alright, on to the next cage. Okay, now doing some further assessments of the bin. When I pull this out, this missile will go into launch position. He always does. Hello. When I have when I have a bucket of hot rodents sitting here in the red pail, he locks onto that and goes after it. Now, this is another Bothrops licoris. This is the male, the only one I have, and he's been doing exceptionally well in the bin. Again, if I put him up in the cage with the female during breeding season, his health declines because A, he's not eating, B, he's not drinking, and C, it's a bit drier in a big cage than in the tub. So I keep him in the off-season here by himself, and also absence makes the heart grow fonder. We didn't produce any whitetails this year. A, because I was rehabilitating the big female that you saw, and the other female that he bred with last season produced a whole bunch of slugs, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So he's got a pile of poop, so we're going to try the whitetail lancehead lottery here again and place him in the pail. And you could already see he's like, oh, I'm not going to like this. He's tensing up. Maybe I can just extract the poop without him going ballistic. So that's what we'll try first, because I know him. He's a rather squirrely character. So let's give that a try. See, I prefer not to disturb the animal and remove it whenever possible. Easy. This is not a feeding opportunity. That might come later if you don't get too butthurt by me being in your cage. See, another thing is, if he's upset, he goes off feed. And right now, this is the best weight that I've seen him at in a long, long time. And I would like to keep him that way. Okay, relax. Just check it out. See, no one's going to hurt you. See, despite the fact that I have a relatively good relationship with these animals, they really don't like to be disturbed. So,
I think that's another big pile in the back.
yes, I see that. I'm going to try to maneuver. See, I'm also gauging the distance from my hand to the snake in order to do this. And that's one of the things that I always keep in mind is that's a pit viper. He can have a very, very long reach.
Yes.
If he decides to do so.
Jim found that out.
Yes. Jumped over 3 foot up the tube and onto his wrist. That was a common lancehead though. The infamous pogo stick with venom. Alright, so we're not going to disturb him any further. We did what we had to do. So maybe he'll be undisturbed enough to feed later today. So one of the tasks is to feed these Congo water cobras, who sort of expect fish on the weekend. A little extra water in there. Don't want to put too much water because then it...
There's somebody else expecting food.
Hi guy, yes I will feed you, just be patient. Yes, but he would bite me if I opened the door. You can't be nice to these guys because they will remove parts of your body. Yep, there's a water cobra. Yeah, that's a little shallow water for you, dude. Huh? Now one of these water cobras is feeding better than the other, and that's this guy. He's the gluttonous one. I hope he gets one of the smaller fish that I put in there.
No, there's the other one.
Yeah, they're becoming a little bit less shy. Don't get the big fish. Oh, she was scared. You know, this is the equivalent, of course, of fish in a barrel, and they still have trouble. You know, you can move in there. Just gotta stand still, otherwise the female will disappear. Interested in feeding, huh? It's a little tough to focus with a Bothrops asper peering at you intently, isn't it? Ah, good, the female has joined them. Did she score?
I don't know. I don't want to move. I don't want to startle her.
Well, I also don't want them starting a fish from either end and end up fighting over it. There's a pointy-nosed laser beam looking at you.
Yes, I keep looking up at him. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. They're all tangled up together, so I don't know who has what. Tell me you're not fighting over the same fish when there's so many in there. Why do you have to go after his fish? No, don't go after his. Look at all of these, you dummy. Oh, for goodness sakes, Al. Of course, she had to go. You know, there's all sorts of other fish, and she went after his.
Okay,
And
but that's he's not holding it.
No, she chased him off.
Well, yeah, I'm okay with that because, you know.
Can you stir some of the other ones up and see if, you know, they'll go after the others because they're just not moving. Whoops.
See, now that's moving too much. See, now
No,
they
they're
all.
both.
See,
Well, they'll be back.
you can't disturb these guys.
Yeah, they freak out.
See, now nobody's getting eaten.
No, they will.